Hello, dear friends. Welcome to another in our JBS series as we battle the coronavirus together. I'm Mark Golub. How's today been for you? I hope you continue to do well, to stay safe, inside, away from people, washing your hands anytime you come in contact with them, from the outside or anytime someone from the outside needs to be in your home for some reason. I spoke today to a number of dear friends of JBS, Janet and Yvette, both of whom live in senior residences. And they described how they must now remain inside their apartments. They're not allowed out, even in the general area. How the staff brings them their meals and any other essentials. How they conduct exercise classes in the hallway. Very creative. People are making a real effort to be careful. If you heard New York's Governor Cuomo today, there was even a hint of an encouraging word. Nothing to get too excited about, but Governor Cuomo made the point that though the number of people contracting the coronavirus continues to grow, and somewhat rapidly, there are more than 30,000 diagnosed with the virus in New York alone. The governor points out that there are some early indications that all of the restrictions on social contact and the other restrictions and rules could be slowing down the virus's spread. And it does seem that the rate of hospitalization is slowing down. So there may be a tiny light at the end of the tunnel. But we'd be wise not to get our hopes too high. The CDC now reports that there are some 61,000 Americans diagnosed with the virus, which has sadly taken the lives of 838 people, which is a rate of 1.3%. In Israel, and by the way, I should say, due to a glitch last night, we reported Israel's numbers incorrectly last night, much too high, which was quickly pointed out by a number of our wonderful viewers. In Israel, the number of coronavirus cases is still under 2,500, with only 5 confirmed deaths. As Shachar Azami told us yesterday, Israelis may not go beyond 100-meter radius of their home, and the government is now threatening a complete shutdown. But obviously, Israel is doing much better than we are here in the United States. Tomorrow, I hope to be speaking with an infectious disease specialist who's the medical director of the New England Quality Care Alliance and is Tufts University's liaison for the coronavirus, Dr. Benjamin Kruskal. And I hope he can answer some of the questions that are at the heart of this epidemic, which are generating the fear and anxiety so many of us experience these days. This is a very serious virus. It's highly contagious, described when compared in the world of viruses. Most serious of all, it can be lethal. It is a grave threat to those of us who are over 60 or 70 or 80, especially for those with underlying health issues, which always makes me chuckle. Those in their 60s and 70s and 80s without health issues are very few and far between. At the same time, if one follows the rules, no close contact with people we don't live with, 6 feet or more, washing our hands with soap anytime we come in contact with something outside of our home, constantly wiping down surfaces with disinfectants, and keeping our hands out of our mouths, noses, and eyes. Then we have every reason to expect we will survive this pandemic. The report is that in areas of significant spread of the virus, the rate of disease is 1 in 1,000. Only 1 in 1,000. Now, as the rate of diseases go, that's not all that good. But in terms of life's odds, 1 in 1,000, if that's our chances, it is pretty good. And that only refers to the number of people who contract the virus. The number of people who die is a fraction of that 1 in 1,000. So we should all be afraid. More so, we should all be extra cautious. We should err on the side of obsessive caution. But rationally, intellectually, logically, for those taking care of themselves, we need to keep things in perspective. And these are seem to be those saving drugs suddenly appearing that we hear so much about. Hydroxychloroquine, a drug used primarily for treating malaria. It may turn out to be more effective than we first thought. It's certainly worth watching. They're using it to treat patients in the state of Washington and in New York City. So there's no reason to celebrate, but there could be some cautious optimism appropriate. I also want to comment on something I've seen appearing in the Jewish community of late. It makes me very uncomfortable. And now I'm only speaking for myself. I may not be speaking for you at all. But if I am, I'm glad. With Passover approaching, there are Jewish groups, publications, organizations, synagogues, referring to the coronavirus as the 11th plague of Passover. That reference saddened me, and it offends me. Yes, one can call the coronavirus a plague, and it's not the first medical plague that's been an enormous threat to millions of people throughout the globe. But the 10 plagues described in the Torah, in the book of Exodus, they were sent by God to both punish the Egyptians for enslaving the children of Israel and to reawaken a commitment to the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob among the children of Israel. Those 10 plagues had a purpose. They were a response to the God king of Egypt, Pharaoh, refusing to let the children of Israel go from freedom to freedom from slavery. According to the Midrash, Jewish commentary, the Egyptians were drowning 200 Israelite infant boys in the Nile every single day. Every single day, 200 baby boys were thrown into the Nile River to die. The 10 plagues in the book of Exodus were a form of divine retribution. They belong to the story of Passover, the story of the birth of the Jewish people, which we now celebrate in just a couple of weeks. I personally find it repugnant to suggest that the coronavirus is a similar plague from God, or that the coronavirus should in any way be tied up with the magnificent story of Passover, the story of freedom from slavery. God has not brought this plague of the coronavirus against the world. And those who think it's cute or creative to link the coronavirus to the 10 plagues of Egypt is not only trivializing the Passover story, but is sending the wrong message about this disease. It's not an act of God against humanity. And I would be shocked if any responsible rabbi ever argued that it was. Or for that matter, if a responsible clergy person of any religious tradition made that claim. This is a virus to fight and to ultimately defeat with a vaccine and with medications. AIDS was not a plague from God. Polio was not a plague from God. Tuberculosis was not a plague from God. The Spanish flu, the bubonic plague, the Black Plague, all horrific, but none a plague from God to punish human beings. So I hope you gently explain to anyone who might use the imagery of an 11th plague on Passover. Take it easy. They're missing the meaning of the Pesach story. They're missing the significance of the 10 plagues. Just my thoughts. By the way, speaking of Passover, we'll be celebrating Passover alone this year. Some of you will be totally alone. So I have some good news for you. JBS is planning an array of special Passover programs for you to be highlighted by Rabbi Mark Schneier of the Orthodox Hampton Synagogue in West Hampton Beach, New York, doing the most important moments of the Seder with you and for you on the first and second nights of Passover. If you can have with you matzah and moror, bitter herbs, maybe a lamb shank bone, a roasted hard-boiled egg, a bowl of salt water and some parsley or some greens, charoset. Maybe you can make charoset yourself out of walnuts, apples, wine, cinnamon, or however you make your charoset. Whether it's Ashkenazic charoset, Sephardic charoset. Maybe you can have wine and a wine glass, or even a cup of Elijah. Maybe your own Haggadah. Get it all together for you. Then sit down with JBS and Rabbi Mark Schneier and participate in the key moments of a beautiful Seder experience. Topped off with some gorgeous music, as Nathaniel Herstick, Chazan Nathaniel Herstick, does some of the classic songs of Passover with the Jerusalem Symphonic Orchestra. It all promises to be something amazing. First and second Seder nights right here on JBS. And then we'll have prayers for Passover for you on Passover morning, first and second day. All courtesy again of Rabbi Mark Schneier in the Hampton Synagogue. So the last 2 days, I've been inviting you to be in touch with me with names you'd like me to read on JBS, mazel tovs on birthdays and anniversaries, any happy occasion or milestone. Or to send me the name of someone who's ill, whose name we can include in a Misha Berach, or the name of someone who has passed away, for whom you have no synagogue setting in which to say Kaddish. I will do my best to read those names on JBS. Simply send me an email to our special email address, jbscommunity@jbstv.org. I want to say it again, jbscommunity@jbstv.org. And in the subject line of the email, please try to write the simcha, the date, and the person's name. So, for example, if you were wishing me a happy birthday, the subject of your email would be birthday, May 10th, Mark Golub. and you email that to me. You can email it to me with any picture you may wish. Just email it to jbscommunity@jbstv.org. Or you can mail the same information to our Stamford, Connecticut post office box. That address is JBS Post Office Box 360, Stamford, Connecticut 06904. And remember, no donation is required. By the way, there are some people who've already sent me some emails to our email address, and I'll be looking at them tonight and perhaps beginning to read some of them tomorrow. I am looking forward to hearing from so many of you. It really would mean the world to me to be able to have this as your community JBS television. By the way, if you've come across something you think would be moving to us or the JBS viewers at this time, a poem, a song, a video, I invite you to also send that to us at jbscommunity@jbstv.org. Or maybe you've written a poem or a song or created a video. Share it with us. Again, I can't promise we'll air everything we receive, but where we can, we certainly will. We're all in this together. And JBS is here for you, and I'm here for you. All of us at JBS are here for you. Our address one more time, jbscommunity@jbstv.org. And speaking of poems or songs written by you, a dear friend, Vicky Mintz, sent me a YouTube video this morning that I absolutely love. It's called We're All Homebound, the Coronavirus Song. It's written by a Jewish man, a lawyer, living in Pittsburgh named Mel Vatz, who sings the song with his wife Claire. And I want you to hear We're All Homebound by Mel Vatz. I hope it makes you smile.
I'm sitting here in isolation, waiting for the vaccination. Ooh. Stock market's down, the stores are closed, retirement plans are surely hosed, toilet paper's running low. It's a good thing I don't have to go. We're all homebound. How long will we still be homebound? Home, keeping social distance. Home, without friends' assistance. Home, at government's insistence. Stuck in our houses. I'm getting used to sleeping late. Should clean the house, but it can wait. Ooh. I try to work from my PC, but soon the fridge is calling me. I eat some snacks, turn on TV. Without Netflix, what would life be? We're all homebound. How long will we still be homebound? Home till the virus dies out. Home till the groceries run out. Home till the wine's all drunk. We're stuck in our houses. So please just stay in your own space. Don't shave so you don't touch your face. Ooh. Wash your hands until they're raw for 20 seconds. That's the law. The curve will flatten. We'll have seen the ending to COVID-19. We're all homebound. How long will we still be homebound? groceries run out, home till the wine's all drunk, and we have defeated coronavirus.
We're all homebound by Mel Vatz, and I'm going to try to talk to Mel on JBS. A nice job, made me smile. Any smile we can have during these days, worth gold. I hope you're doing a lot of smiling. I hope you're doing a lot of smiling with JBS. And by the way, the emails you've sent me personally, they've made me smile, they've made me cry, they've given me chills, and they mean the world to me. Thank you. As always, my thanks to our director, Sloan Copeland, to JBS's managing director, Dara Golub, to Michael Paley and to Serge Goldberg, to John McDevitt, our transmission manager, and to the producer of JBS Together during COVID-19, Ruth Golub. Until the next time, I'm Mark Golub. Be well, my friends.